All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is a special one. I would say he is the Tunay, the guest from the No Salt Allowed. My friend and yours, and I would say the Tunay Na Julia of the Philippines, the best coach anyone could ever have. We have GrindSky's Nature Lover. Pew, 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 pew. Here he is. GrindSky, the
But I thought,
GS. There we go. And I have the peace sign. Nature Lover, first of all, congratulations getting signed by GrindSky. How has the journey been so far from Signal to free agency to GrindSky?
thank you, Posh. It was a roller coaster ride. I mean, we were let go by Signal, which is obviously sad.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the time being, we did our own thing. We kind of went back to like the normal like jobs that we were accustomed to.
My
And
wallet
then
sponsor, yeah.
yeah, I was a sponsor, and then we went back to like being like BPO representative, so which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then GrindSky happened. So now we're here. And again, we're really happy that we're with GrindSky. It's really like a breath of fresh air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm glad that you and Vermilion also got picked up by GrindSky because I think the competitive scene definitely needs you guys there because there will be a huge hole with you guys not in tandem together. And speaking of which, since for those of you watching, Vermilion is the player and Nature Lover is the coach. I do want to ask, when did you start wanting to be a coach? Because I know you were a player at one point. I think it was 2018 in PPGL. You were in the top eight. You're using Lily at the time before your girl Julia came into the
Uh,
mix. But yeah, what was the moment where you realized, you know what, it's time for me to be a coach?
yeah, actually, it just kind of happened. Uh, because I was playing like since Tekken 6 and never started. I mean, never like stopped playing then. Like, really competitive, heavy. During Tekken 6. Tekken Tag 2 era, I took a break for 1 year and then went back. Then went to like playing again, like consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So, come Tekken 7, it just so happened because I've been playing the game for like a long time. And then like people, I tend to like help people without me knowing it actually. Like
I'm one of
because
them.
like people just ask me and it's just like right off the bat, the first thing that comes to mind, and I say it. Like if you ask me, how much minus is that? Then I'll give you the answer like without even thinking it.
Ooh, okay.
So, so I think it kind of a way it became innate and natural that I get to like speak my mind when it comes to Tekken.
Mm. And
So and then yeah, AK and Dojin became a thing then. So like they were like super hype and so, I mean, of course, we're teammates back then.
mm-hmm.
So, always support is, of course, to help them grow. So, yeah, so I kind of picked up from there, like, uh, out of nowhere, like helping people out randomly. And then my teammates are like really excited. So,
Mm-hmm.
what to do is like support and help them. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I remember like in casuals, like on Fridays, especially FGC Fridays, you're kind of going around and also checking once you're done with your sets, of course. Like if people have questions, you're always there to answer. I do have to ask now that you are the coach, do you ever miss being a player? Do you miss the competitive scene, like competing and being in like top eights?
I do, yeah, for sure. So the adrenaline of being a player is totally different from being like a coach. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's still stressful,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, being a coach. Say, of course, if you, I mean, you prep for something, then apparently it didn't work out, then of course, back to the drawing board and all that. But with being a player, it's the rush of like you hear the crowd like before pandemic, of course. Like you hear the crowd cheering or like you're focused like in the game. That's something that I really miss.
mm.
But now, thanks to Grice Guy, I'm a coach slash player now.
Boom, represent the jersey, man. Yeah, there we go. Grind Sky represent. Yeah, coach slash player. I do have to ask, right? You are a coach in Grind Sky, and I don't know, you know what? Maybe people would want to try to apply to be under the tutelage of Naturelover. Is there anything that you look for in a student if ever you're going to take someone under your wing? I mean, you mentioned Dojin, you mentioned AK, and Vermilion now being the person that you're directly coaching. What are the traits that you look for in your coachee or your student?
Yeah. For people that are interested, if there are any, but then
Hmm.
I'm not known for like sugarcoating
Ah.
things. I think you can attest to that. I think so.
Tough love, but it
So
works. Yes.
tough love, yeah. But I mean, it's all humor, so it's nothing personal at all. But then again, when it comes to like, if it's really like crunch time, it's what you ask me to do. Like I would really like drill you hardcore for the things that you need to improve on.
Mm-hmm.
So what I look for like a player is basically like you have to learn to listen and you need to have the patience because it's not really gonna be overnight that you will feel the power spike.
But guaranteed there will be that nature of our power spike, ladies and gentlemen. I've kind
There
of
will.
felt it. I kind of felt a little bit, but it was just a tiny bump. But I have to agree with you there. Like I think patience and also kind of an open mind to not question. Like I think when, especially if you're going under someone's tutelage, you just have to absorb everything you can for the time being, and then yeah, just and I can also attest to the tough love. I think was it Vermilion that posted that you complimented him once, and
Thank right. I don't know people, but yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not really a fan of sugarcoating. I mean, it's okay, but I think there will be a point that you have to really have like that reality check of the situation and what
mm-hmm,
really needs to be done.
mm-hmm,
So, I mean, I can talk to you as a friend, like of course, outside of the game, but during in the game, I mean, if you looking for like a coach, then I would be your coach. Of course, we're gonna focus on the things that you improve on. I will definitely acknowledge it.
mm-hmm,
But I mean, if you really want to improve, then we'll really have to focus on the things that are, I may say, lacking or needs to be improved. So I
mm-hmm.
mean, because that's really what you signed up for. I mean, you're not there to maybe like I mean, you're not there to like. I mean, of course, we're gonna improve on the things that
Mm-hmm.
we need to improve on, still. But I mean, I think it's better if we focus on the things that you're not really good at, because everything will come full circle once it becomes more natural. So
Right.
it's really like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So patience, yeah.
I like that. Well, like that rounded approach instead of maybe. I guess it would depend also on the timeline. If someone comes to you, hey, there's a tournament coming up this weekend. Okay, let's
Yeah.
just focus on what you're good at. Let's
Mhm.
let's just accent those and not like have a rounded game plan. I do have to ask when you coach, what's if you could give like a percentage, what's the percentage of you coaching mentally and more of you coaching like strategy wise? Because you know what, in fighting games, it's more like your mental state. Do you coach also that? Like, do you try to calm down your pupil? What do you call it, coachee, your student?
Yeah, I mean, it's a balance of everything depending on what they ask me to do. But most of the people that approach me, I'm surprised because Philippines is known for like a female character country. So most of the people here that approach me, I mean, they have a problem with female character matchup. So
Mm.
it's one. So that's like, I think one of my selling points because I use like
Specialist.
female.
There we
Yeah,
go.
so yeah, so there. And then other people ask me for advice on what to do if ever they lose or something, like the mental state.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, because I've been in the game for, I've been playing the game for a long time. So you win some, you lose some. So I mean, that's really part of what it is. Like I think the best advice that I could give is that, I mean, you're not gonna win every game. So I mean, you can cry, yes, but are you just really gonna like
Mm-hmm.
cry and not like pick up yourself or pick yourself back up? I mean, it's losing is really part of it. It's like you rise into the occasion. That's what really matters.
True. And also, I guess understanding why you lost. I don't know. I know you told me like, do you know why you lost? Yeah, I do. Oh, okay. There you go. You learned then. So
Again,
it's really the tough love that you really ensue, I would believe. And since people do come up to you and ask you questions, how would you say, or like how would you say is the current state of our competitive scene here, since you kind of get a pulse check on everyone and you do like watch the local tournaments? How is
yeah,
our competitive Tekken scene here in the Philippines?
yeah, I mean, the Tekken competitive scene here in the Philippines, it's grown so much to what the coach of Tekken 7. Of course, there will be people that you would see like a consistent top top six, top eight placers. Of course, there would be the normal like AK,
Mm-hmm.
Jules,
Yes.
Vermilion.
Oh, boom!
So
Shout outs.
yeah, Maru, Hapon,
Mm-hmm.
the regular people
The
that
usual
are
suspects, yeah.
yeah. But here and then you would see like people that just started in Tekken 7. I mean those people that I mentioned, aka Jules, Maru, Hapon, and Remington. I mean we're like
Legacy.
I can see that they're like
Mm-hmm.
veterans of the game that
Mm-hmm.
been playing the game for quite some time now. But you see people like Boomy.
Mm.
Uh, yeah. So and also Endrax, those people that made it to the road to the nationals, like the road to pro. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you would see them like yeah, they have they're not as consistent as of course the other like people that I've mentioned, but I mean you would see them rising to the occasion. So it's just really a matter of I may say like experience because experience really is for Tekken like constant grinding and experience. That's really what's gonna like uh, ano, that's really what's really gonna help you with the competitive scene. Like
Mm.
more experience under pressure. So
Mm.
that's because that's really what's important. Like your mental state.
Right.
So
Like the names you mentioned, really, they're so familiar with that pressure, right? AK, Jules, Hapon, Maru, like these guys have seen top eight and they're consistent. Like Vermilion too. I gotta give shout out to your boy Vermilion. When it comes to that type of pressure, but yeah, the one I think that's what the Nationals did. They gave a spotlight to the new generation that is coming in. And my next question is, you like off stream wanted to give a shout out to or something to the new players that kind of caught your attention. Who are they, and who do we have to look out for this year?
well, I have seen people rise to the occasion like Bumi,
Mm-hmm.
Tomoriru, yeah.
Boom.
So and Drax, Jake.
Yay! Yeah, there we
So
go.
yeah, so yeah, those are the people that I see this as like great potential. You just have to like really grind it out, get exposed out there to like all forms of styles, and eventually, I think they should be ready and good to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have a foundation, right? Is there, and I think you've also, I mean, all of them technically. You were eyeing some of them too. I know that with nationals, like you kind of considered some of them as well, especially in the draft series. So super excited to see what those players that you mentioned have to offer. And you mentioned styles, right? And this is a topic that we tried like prepping for. I think this might be the chunk of our discussion. But when you say all types of styles, I have to ask, can you distinguish the Japanese style, the Korean style, and the Pinoy style for everyone listening?
Sure. This is based on my observation.
Yeah,
So I
of
mean, we
course.
may have like different opinions on how the different style works, but the Japanese players, their style, I think they're really like the specialist, like they're like the loyalists.
Mm.
Because I've played like people from different servers, so you see their ranked matches like 11,000 games for one character. So
Right.
like,
Mm-hmm.
right. So really like they're less the specialists, like they're like the ins and outs of their main characters and all that. So they really want to experience like high level character mastery matchups.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really like the Japanese servers the way to do it. For Korean style, this is I've noticed that even the lower levels in rank, they have like a solid like understanding of the fundamentals. I would say
Mm-hmm.
like movement, spacing,
Mm-hmm.
poking, wall awareness during on stage, like everything that's like not very easy to understand for new players.
Right.
Like
Okay.
that. So that's I think what's yeah. Go.
Before
Sorry.
you before you answer the next style, I wanted to ask, like, if I could show you a video, and this could be actually a good interactive point maybe in the next episode. If I show you like a match, can you say like this person's a Japanese player, this person's a Korean player based on movement or like the first few seconds of the match without looking at their names?
I think that I can
Mm.
determine it. Yeah, because you would really see the difference in the regions.
Mm.
So I mean, there's really like a difference in style, which I mean, it's good. I mean, if you only have one style, then it makes the game like boring and
Yeah.
like very one sided. And but yeah, I mean that's
That's what
what
you
makes
gotta love
Tekken
about
so good.
Tekken. Yeah, yeah, just the freedom of expression, depending on
Mm.
what style you bring to the table. But as of now, it's the Japanese and the Korean style that people look after. Actually, I wanted to ask, just to add before you add the Pinoy style, what's the Pakistan style? Because Pakistan has been making a huge name for themselves in the recent years.
I think they're like a balance of like Korean and Filipino style.
Mm.
Because if you would see the Pakistan players, they're more on like movement, and then they tend to like challenge, like press buttons here and then. So more
Unpredictable.
of
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that predictability, but with the more
So
solid
yeah.
understanding.
Mm-hmm.
That's I think what's really good about them.
Yeah, I don't know if you were with AK when he faced Arslan in Japan, but yeah, it's like he kept moving. He utilized movement as a weapon in that match when he faced against AK, and yeah, it kind of shows how masterful they are and how, well, I would say cheeky they are when it comes to challenging things too.
Mm. Yeah, so I think that's the difference in the styles. I think that's like a combination of styles. I mean, there's a lot to explore still because everyone who's been playing Tekken for like a very long time, uh, we look up to like the Korean and Japanese styles. Yeah, but now we have like people from Pakistan who's like out there, and thank God for YouTube because they have been uploading like
Yes.
videos like if like they're very like diligent on
First to
uploading like
tens, yeah,
yeah
they're really good at that. Mm.
yeah. So I mean we get to see more of their styles and their reach. So yeah, I think that's Tekken. I mean Tekken 7's been out for like almost 5 years, and then people are still exploring new stuff for the game, which is
Mm-hmm.
great.
Yeah. Now the burning question, the $1 million question, Naturelover, the Pinoy style. I want to hear it from you. Like, what have you noticed in the community? I think they also want to hear this too, and like how what they're strong at and what they need to work on.
Yeah. For our style here, this is what I've noticed for most of the people here. We're more of like the glass cannon
Mm-hmm.
style. Like
Mm.
you give it like your all. I mean, aggression is good, yes, but then again, there has to be like uh, a point where you know when to stop pressing. I think that's
Like stop pushing forward, kind of go on the defense. I
it.
believe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what I've noticed. Like being aggressive and being like preparing for all like setups and all, they're great. But of course, you still need to have like the backup defense.
Right.
So I think that's what's really important right now for us to improve here, and also like to increase the let's say the level of the average player.
Mm.
I mean, of course, the easiest thing to practice in Tekken are like combos. That's really the easiest thing. So uh, defense is really not that easy to learn as well as the movement. It really takes like hours and hours and hours. Then muscle memory, the things that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but then again, if you really want to be good at the game, it's not all about offense. Defense is really like a huge like deciding factor on like if this player is gonna win or if this player is not gonna win. So it's really like it all boils down to defense. Everybody knows how to attack, but defense is like a totally different thing. You get what I mean?
Yeah, Honestly, like before, my mentality was if I'm not pressing buttons, I'm not playing the game. I need to just keep
Mm.
like pressing and stuff. But then, yeah, I watching competitive, it's like you can't keep doing that. It's a conversation. It's a give and take, and you definitely have to be. Yeah, you also have to be savvy when it comes to defense. Now, you brought up an interesting point. You know, when you said when you practice, right? You just practice the big combos, the setups. How would one practice, and how would one treat practice if they want to improve, especially like a person that's listening casually? How would they practice, and when they jump into, let's say, ranked or a quick match, what should they look for? Because I think people put so much importance on wins instead of learning.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's actually what I'm about to say. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you really want to learn, I mean, you don't really actually want. I mean, nowadays everyone's doing it online, so you're not technically like paying anything like to play the game. I mean, of course, you pay the game initially, but then afterwards it's like free online internet and all that. Because before an arcade, your goal is to win because like one swipe
Yeah,
for
it
for
hurts.
for a card, it hurts. Especially when Tekken Tag 2 came out. The game was like 37, 39 pesos per game.
Oof,
So
ouch.
I mean, you want to learn, but then again, you want to win because it's just too expensive at that time. But now, since everything is online, if you really want to improve, let's say you think that you lack in defense, if you get to play with someone, uh, yeah, I mean, try to balance it out.
Mm.
Like, uh, of course, you still are gonna play, and you're just not gonna stand there like wait for everything to happen, then you just react to block to. But you play, but then again, you focus on one thing that you think you need to improve on.
Mm-hmm. So let's actually kind of break it down. If I may
Mm.
ask, let's say like me with Elisa, right? I want to improve my defense. How would you like give me a game plan to do that? Let's say Elisa versus, give me a character or something, just so we can kind of simulate a sort of game planning and coaching session that you would give someone.
Nina, let's say Nina.
Okay, Nina, gotcha. All right, a very aggressive Nina, or like, or what? Let's say I want to improve my matchup defense against Nina. How would you break it down for me?
First off, this is what I do and what I tell people to do if ever. Before the game starts, there's like a low V screen and all. So before the game starts. So depending on how fast your internet, that's how fast the game is gonna load. So yeah, there. So
So you got to
during
go on the
that,
fly. It depends on like the
yeah,
connectivity or something.
yeah, yeah. So that particular downtime, that's really like a time for you to like focus. Like
Mm-hmm.
what I do is just like if I'm facing against this certain type of character, like um, loading screen, like I think of the things that can duck, things that can the opponent's gonna throw out,
Mm-hmm.
things like normal setups. I mean, that comes with experience, yes, and
Yes.
character mastery and all. But
Mm-hmm.
during that downtime, let's say if you're not that experienced with that character, think about the things that you can do. Like if I do a certain move, can I move? Can I sidestep after this gets blocked? Can I
Mm-hmm.
backdash after this gets blocked?
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah. Also, you have to focus. The first thing that you really have to do is just look at the opponent,
Yeah,
the character
that's
of the
advice
opponent.
you gave that to me too, and like when you that kind of blew my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be looking at the opponent, not my character, because I'm defending against this person that's throwing moves at me.
Yeah. So that's all. Maybe I'm not really quite sure because I think a lot of people tend to forget that because everything in the heat of the match, of course, there are things that a lot is going on, especially depending on the character that's like very like poke heavy in your face type. There's
Mm-hmm.
really a lot of things that's going on. But then again, if you know like try to collect yourself, and then try to like be calm and I know it's like split second decision making that matters. But then
Mm-hmm.
again, as long as you focus and hopefully react because reacting to moves, I mean that's something that you really have to
Develop,
get
yeah.
used to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, first things first is yeah. During the downtime, focus on the things that you need to do. If you're not familiar with the character, focus on the things that you can do, that you want to do. Then defense wise, just look at the character, then try to act. The character double, because that's
Mm.
really super, super, super important.
Mm-hmm. Then from there, just start to learn and build. Don't expect to like get big results right away. Okay, that's
Yeah.
that's. I actually I resonate with that because once you told me that, I started to think back. Like, yeah, if you're learning like a martial art, it's like you don't look at your fist, you look at your target. You don't look at yourself. Because I think,
No,
and that's when you have to be really in tune with your character because you need to know the range of this character without really paying attention too much to it because you got to focus on your opponent.
mm. Yeah, and the only time that you not look at the opponent's character is when you're juggling, especially if there are runs.
That's when you need to look at the environment. Ooh.
The environment, if it's going to be a side splat,
Mm-hmm.
like the stage awareness. But after that, if you tech after you get knocked down, you tech roll or you're attacking. I mean, if you're attacking, you should know exactly like your pattern of the way you attack. So there's really no way that you should be looking at your character
Mm-hmm.
even while you're attacking.
Right.
I mean, because it should because you know what you're pressing, you know what's gonna come out.
Mm-hmm. Like,
So
hang on, wait, what's for?
honestly, so I mean, yeah. So still, there's really no way that you, yeah, just have to really. That's like I think a golden rule to really have to look at the opponent's character.
Do you get? I have to ask. Do you give Vermilion crap for not looking at the character? Like look at the character. Don't look at don't look at your character. Look at your opponent.
Sometimes I actually do that, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes and I practice this blocking. Let's say,
Mm-hmm.
uh, what do I ask us down 1+2. The
Okay.
punch,
Yeah. Yeah.
the low punch,
Yeah.
the punch to the ground,
Mm-hmm.
or Nina swipe the floor because those are like fast slows that are somewhat reactable.
Sort of. Yeah.
So
Like they say it's
yeah,
reactable, but I keep getting hit by
yeah,
it.
but yeah. So I use that move like out of nowhere. Then I see him twitch, like his body, like he tries reacts the stick.
Mm,
I mean, because you would see him trying to like block the move. So I
okay.
mean, yeah, yeah. So I mean, because we're like side by side, so I see him like try. Well, we were at the boot camp at least, so so you
Okay.
would see that. I mean, those are like you would see like how people try to react. I mean, he's looking at the character. It's just like I don't think that would be mistake, or maybe it's just like late blocking it. I mean, there are going to be other factors, but the thing is, eventually you'll block it, and it should be muscle memory to react to.
There we go. Okay, because again, when it comes to like Tekken, there's just so much moves, so much matchup knowledge, and just for a specific situation, let's say Asuka's down 1+2. That sometimes that doesn't even come out in the match, and you practice like an hour. Like let's say you practice a whole hour for a move that might not even come out, and you timed
Yeah,
it really well. But that's the grind if you want to be really good at this game.
yeah, Tekken's really not an easy game. It's not
Mm-hmm.
something that you are going to get good at overnight. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I love the setting the expectations, right? And
um,
I also want to plug for you, Naturelover, that eventually, ladies and gentlemen, he will be making a Gank account. Speaking of which, Gank Wars Feb 5, if ever. I know Naturelover. Will you be joining, or will you be on the sidelines?
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Never
Okay.
know.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. But as I was saying, Nature Lover will be making a Gank account, so I hope you guys can check him out there too, because he can. I'm sure there's some sparring sessions you guys can hire him for, as well as coaching as well, by none other than Nature Lover. So, yeah, he just gave us a little bit of an insight. Do you have to like watch some match footage prior to a coaching session, or do you have to play the person you'll be coaching first?
Actually, what I do if someone wants to like get a session, like at least first to five,
Mm. Okay. Yeah, that
at
makes
least
no
get
sense.
at least get the feel. Not really one game is okay, but I mean, I get the feel for one game on how the player works, but just to prove my theory and observation, at
Mm-hmm.
least like a few more games, and then
Mm-hmm.
from there we can like enumerate the things that are great and the things that needs to be worked on. So.
Mm. Okay, that's good. At least you assess the situation and you assess how what the power level of the person and what you can expect. Because sometimes it's like, yeah, sorry, go.
Sometimes I just use Kazumi because she's the like the most basic character out there. Like
Yeah,
to like to really like test. I mean, like
test the waters. Yeah,
yeah, because I mean, I can't test anyone's defense with Anna. If I go Anna just straight out the bat,
I
this,
faced your
this
Anna.
not,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
it's not gonna work out. So yeah, just I start to use like Kazumi first,
okay, that's good.
just 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 to test on because she's basic Tekken. So it's
Hmm.
she's the most basic Tekken that you can get out of every character.
How funny, right? She's the grandma of Kazuya, the protagonist technically of Tekken, and she's the most basic Tekken character. So you would advise someone if they're gonna get into the game or they want to get good with fundamentals to pick Kazumi?
Yeah, I would
Mm-hmm.
definitely. But there are other characters that can do the same thing that she does.
Mm-hmm.
But again, with minimal moveset, because technically you can just win with like 10 moves
Pokes.
at Kazumi and that's it.
I just keep
You
having a
don't
problem with
need
a back forward, dude. It's so hard. Like when she did to finish or B ender, I'm like, oh man, I'm so bad with charge characters or charge motions.
now we can discuss that after this.
Yes, for sure. See, guys, let's yeah, just hire Naturelover. That's one thing that I think this gank account you'll be making, and please, Naturelover, please make a Twitter as well because those combo videos that you make, just they need to be shared to the FGC Twitter.
I will. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you
Thanks for
will.
reminding me.
For sure. One last question before I let you go is I wanted to ask you if you have any advice for the beginner players, the intermediate players, and the players that want to, kind of break through and get into the path to pro. Do you have any advice for any three of them?
Yeah. I'm just gonna generalize it for
Okay.
because
Okay.
I think this is Tekken is really not a game, and you need to have like the mental strength to like accept the fact that someone is really always going to be better than you. So all you have to do is just grind it out, try to improve on the things that you need to improve on, and uh, patience, patience, and the drive. If you really want to improve on something, then focus, focus, focus. That's really important.
Boom. There it is. Wise words from GrindSky's Nature Lover. Anything you want to plug in before we close out the show? Because you know what? I want to have you on for another session. Maybe have like some breakdowns if ever. Yeah, I really think if you could have a channel, you could definitely create a lot of content and have like breakdown videos. But hey, you know what? This channel is always welcome for you to do that and promote whatever you have. But yes, please promote whatever you have to.
Sure. Thank you, Coach. Just you follow GrindSky's page,
Mm-hmm.
GrindSky Sports and GrindSky's page, and of course, my teammates' page, Lubricant's page.
There we go. It's all in the description below, ladies and gentlemen. And hopefully, by the time this is uploaded, Nature Lover, maybe I could help you make that Twitter account or something for people to reach you. I don't know. I think it's gonna be good, but we'll see.
And we'll see.
So yeah, this is the first of many episodes with our guest, GrindSky's Nature Lover. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. That's Nature Lover. I'm Porch Spice. We'll see you in the next episode, ladies and gentlemen. Stay unsalty. I don't know what my closing is, so I'm just gonna say that. Okay. Peace.